this sense of, the lack of sense of meaning in life, a meaningless life. So all this increasing unsatisfaction showed that Freud's theories were not right. And in this scenario, we see Kepi coming as a very important scientist, because he started from the beginning of not only Freud, the great psychoanalyst that worked with Freud at the time of Freud, and also the great thinkers of humanity, and utilizing his own scientific experience and clinical practice, he was able to discover that we are really upside down, having an upside down kind of existence, and we have upside down values. And starting from this perception of inversion, he built up an enormous, like a huge work that was applied in economy, in law, in education, in psychosomatic medicine, psychoanalysis, in all areas, even theology.
I think this is a very extraordinary thing, Claudia, because the application is not just a psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
It's a way to understand, really, the human condition and all of the human structures on the planet because of this work he's done at determining the basic root cause of the problem of the human being. And he put it this way in one of his books. He said that we are what we don't know about ourselves.
Yes.
That we have a hidden part, as you're alluding to now. And this is a kind of a key in to see ourselves in a more direct way. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sometimes people get afraid when they hear about this because they think, oh my God, so what do I have inside of me? Do I have monsters, crocodiles, snakes, or what? Am I so horrible and terrible inside of myself that I have to hide myself and escape and keep running and escaping from me and from everything? And people suffer from a tremendous anxiety and sometimes panic attacks that are the result of this emotional disturbance inside of ourselves. But when Kepi speaks about human being, he starts from a very important premise, philosophical, metaphysical premise. Good is the essence of the being. The being is good, beautiful, and truthful by nature, by essence. Evil does not exist by itself. It is the absence of good, is the destruction, the denial of good. Therefore, neurosis, any sickness, any illness is the same. Based in this philosophical and metaphysical perception, Kepi noticed that neurosis was not our natural state. Neurosis is a denial of our true being. Psychosis is even a bigger denial, with total censorship of our true being, which should be and is, in the basis, good, beautiful, truthful. Therefore, what we have hidden inside of us, Mr. Jones, it's an enormous and precious treasure that is hidden because of a pathological attitude and inverted will.
Now, there's much more to say about this. I want to give you a few phone numbers as you're listening, and also a direct email that you can email to us if you have questions. Maybe you don't want to go on the air with us live. That's cool. You can email us at joneshealing@gmail.com. That's our personal email to get directly to us. We have some toll-free lines as well, and we'd really like to encourage you to call. This would be really fantastic.
I would appreciate very much, because when people call and make questions, then I have an incredible source of inspiration to explain.
Exactly. We tend to think in trilogical terms when we're studying Dr. Kepi's work. We have to get these big concepts and understand them, and then we understand our lives. But actually, it's through the practical day-to-day problems that we have that we begin to understand these concepts in a better way.
Yes, and this is science, Jones. And all these incredible concepts Kepi developed, he took from everyday practical problems that the thousands of clients he attended during his life brought to him.
I just want to point out that most of these theories were done before he started analysis with me, so he didn't notice the pathology. Okay, but I fit into every one of those. Listen, some numbers I want you to just note down. If you're calling worldwide outside the United States, we do have a toll-free number available through Skype and also through your regular phone service. It's at 888-815-9756. 888-815-9756. If you're in the USA only, we also have a toll-free number there, 877-876-5227. 877-876-5227. A couple of numbers for you there. And you can get those on the bbsradio.com website, by the way, if you missed all those numbers. Sometimes hearing that many numbers in a row makes you kind of go, makes all of us dyslexic. But there it is. Those are the lines where you can call us, and we would really encourage that. I'm going to have some Trilogy websites to give you a little bit later, but I don't want to overburden you with web addresses and phone numbers and stuff now. But I want to continue on from what Claudia was talking about.
I understood, Jones, that you have some questions brought by some of your podcast listeners. We might try to start from that point.
Right. There was a very interesting email I received from a young woman who's been listening from Sedona, Arizona for quite a while now. In fact, came to our World Conference of Analytical Trilogy in San Diego, which we just held back in September. It's already 6 months, and she said this. She said she was listening to a national public radio show the other day, and the topic of the radio show was, how are you handling the stress of the financial meltdown? The subject of the program. And one woman called in and told of her difficulties and that she was taking Xanax to help her through. And one of the experts answered her by giving her some moral support and told her it was a good thing she was taking her medication. And so my listener said, well, this is going to be a big boon for big pharma, isn't it? People keep giving these kinds of advices. And then she said, I'm sure you think about this all the time, so I think you have so much to offer people about how to move through things without the drugs. And I noticed that we have a call waiting, Claudia, but let's answer that first. And Don, our operator there back at the station, just hold that call for a minute because we will get to it in a second. But how would you answer this situation, Claudia? With giving moral support, advising drugs, we have a much different approach to that here.
Yes, Jones. We understand that people get anxious or depressed when they don't want to face any problem or any consciousness of problem. So what we see here in a bigger situation is that people are seeing it, are becoming more conscious of a problem that always existed, and it has been existing for a long time. But this problem that seems to be a problem in reality is a liberation for many, many people from the world, for the world, because we have been been brought to this crisis by this inverted, upside-down laws of finance, the financial laws that mostly were encouraged by Reaganomics. And since Ronald Reagan brought this neoliberalism to the United States, which was also encouraged to happen in other countries, this brought this upside-down understanding that money comes from money.